Good morning. And of course, just as I'm going to take the glasses off because the light is just shining right in my eyes, just as this starts, people start honking right out front.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you guys can hear that or not. This is Marketing Moms. I'm Ann Brennan.
I'm Anastassia.
And we've been away a while.
I was just thinking that. I was like, man, it's been a really long time. We took the summer off, basically.
Yeah. And actually it was good.
It was good. It was unintended. I mean, we were planning on recording, but we just...
The truth is at some point I called Amanda and I said, by the way, we have the best producer. Mm-hmm. She is in high school. I think she's in her senior year now.
Oh, I thought she graduated.
No, she's in her senior year. And she does all of this. And I called her and I'm like, I just want you to run reruns until I tell you not to. Because the truth is we had a lot going on this summer, a whole lot going on this summer. But let's start with Luna. I have to keep my glasses on or I can't see the banners over here. So let's start with the Luna report. And then I want to talk about what's happening with Burgers and Bands before we really jump into things, because there's some really cool stuff happening. The Luna report. So I took Luna to the vet this morning. And so we've talked about our Great Dane on here before, and my Great Dane, and she is a mess. A huge mess. But over the summer, I took her to the kennel. She was there for a week, and I came back, and my all silver Great Dane had a great big dark spot, like dark gray spot on her back. And I was like, well, that's
like her whole back. Like she was
well, at the time it was only a small, like it was kind of small. And I thought, well, they did bathe her, so maybe she's still wet. Yeah. Right. Well, it didn't go away. And I went, I'm like, did you bathe her with something different? They said no. Well, then it started spreading. And so it's a long, dark spot. And then she started getting little spots. She's polka dot now. She's like, so I took her to the vet, which is, everything's fine. I actually was pretty sure it was fine, but you have to check. But why I am telling you this is that when I got her there today, first of all, they love her to bits. Yeah. But secondly, they weighed her, and I thought it wasn't that bad. They're like, she's 127 pounds at 11 and a half months. That's not so bad. Apparently, she's huge. When you look at the growth chart, she's way above.
Oh, wait a minute. So she's supposed to still grow?
She's going to still grow for another 6 months. That's what he said. So
it is hilarious because Rocky is a full-grown.
Right.
He is definitely full grown. He's not growing anymore. And when I was there at your house last week, they're pretty similar in size.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty similar. So she's going to be really big.
And she doesn't look, they didn't say she was overweight, did they?
Oh, no, she's thin. Yeah,
she's actually thin right now. I'm like, there's no way that she is overweight. I mean, I've seen dogs, there have been people that I've told, I'm like, your dog needs to lose some weight. My cousin, I went to her house and I dog shamed them.
You fat shamed their dog.
Because the dog is a lab and it was a little older, and I was like, this is actually really bad. Like it was really, really overweight. And I'm like, it's really bad for their joints. So we have a lab. We've always had labs, and so I'm like, it's really bad for them. And the thing about labs is they don't know when to stop, so they just will eat and eat and eat and eat.
It's like a science in our house with our dogs and what we're feeding them. So, all right. Well, we're going to talk to you. We are today going to talk about marketing during a down economy, which I think is a really good subject. And I think it's something that we want to talk about. But before we talk about it, I want to go back to Burgers and Bands, because we've talked about Burgers and Bands for suicide prevention on the show before. Mm-hmm. We generally have an event in May. We used to have one in October. And we decided this year we were going to stop doing it because, quite honestly, trying to run an agency and run a charity is hard. It's really, really hard. And it was so stressful. It was probably not good for our mental health.
No, definitely. It's sad because we did it for 2 years. One pre-COVID, one post-COVID. The first one poured torrential downpour. The second one was nice, but we didn't get as many people out. And it doesn't have anything to do with it. It was just too much.
It was just too much.
I think that we talk about, I think it's very timely right now to be talking about mental health. Kids are going back to school, things that you need to be looking out for. You need to kind of keep an eye on your kids, but we needed to keep an eye on ourselves.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
We just couldn't.
And any moms listening to this, any parents, yes, it's really important. We worry so much about our kids and we forget that our mental health is important as well. So yeah, that's a reminder for you. But I want to tell you what is going on because it's kind of neat. We were like, we're not going to do one in October. And then we got a call, and it's a long story about how we got the call, except that it's a running store in Annapolis. But the person who is managing that store used to work for another running store that we were managing their social media. And then when that went out of business, for lack of a better term, there's a whole long story about what happened there.
And
We won't talk about it. But when that went out of business, he moved over to Charm City Run in Annapolis, and his name's Bill. And he called me and he said, "Hey, Ann, I want to do this event for you." And I thought, cool, we'll probably do a 5K or a fun run or something. Mm-hmm. And that's what I told you.
Yes, that's what you told me. She told me it was a 5K.
And then I got on the phone with them and they said, "Hey, we've got Annapolis Town Center on the phone with us because that's where they're located. And they are building an amphitheater and they want Burgers and Bands to be the first event there." And so now we're having a much bigger, it's only 2 hours though. I think 2 hours is good. We usually go, 8 hours at least?
Yeah, 8 to 9.
Yeah, mm-hmm. 8 to 9 hours. It's a long day.
And we're there like 12. But.
Exactly. And this is only 2 hours. It's only going to have a few bands. It's going to be great though. But what amazes me, actually, I'll tell you the second part of the story, which is, so that happened. We're really excited. And then somebody who is really nearby saw that it's on a Thursday evening, and she runs, Julep's Southern Kitchen, and she usually has music on Thursday nights, and said, "No, this is too good of a cause. I'm not going to have music because I don't want to take away from Burgers and Bands." And I just thought that was amazing.
It's so sweet. I mean, she's right there, and she just was like, I'm going to send people over. When they ask about the music, I'm going to send people over to your event. And
yeah.
And
now she's hosting it.
Yeah, now we're going to do something there.
Yeah,
actually, I ran into Jasmine at church yesterday, and I was telling them because we used to do it at my church at the Greek Church in Annapolis, and the Annapolis event was there. And I was like, we didn't pursue this. They came and asked us, and she was just so happy that we were able to do something.
Exactly. So it's really neat because it is like Burgers and Bands has a life of its own, mm-hmm. and it's doing exactly what we wanted it to do, which is to open up the conversation in the community and help people to see that we can talk about mental health. Yes. In a positive way, right? All right, we're going to move on. I want to remind you, please subscribe over at YouTube. I'm going to keep the banner running across the bottom, but it's youtube.com/Brendan and Annie. We probably should change that to ASMM Digital, but it's Brendan and Annie. That's what it is. You can ask questions. If you ask questions in the comments, we will sometimes see them while we're live. Sometimes we will not. Sometimes we'll see them when this goes up. So we will always, no matter what, answer them. So if you have questions, ask us. If it's actually some of these things that we do become a show, because you ask us a question that we're like, that's a whole show.
Yes.
I also want to, and I didn't put this up there, but I want to tell you that we're doing a class. I'm really excited about this. People have asked me for a long time. They call and they say, "Hey, can you do our digital marketing for us?" And then they tell me their budget and it's really low, and we can't do that. And so we've tried all kinds of solutions for helping, and usually we give free advice pretty readily, and I'm always willing to do that. But I wanted something more, and so we had been training somebody in our office on digital marketing, and basically we had a plan. This is how you train somebody to do exactly what we do. Mm-hmm. And so we created instead a class, an 8-week intensive, 1 hour a week plus a office hours hour on Fridays. So Mondays from 8 until 9, we're going to have the class. And then from noon until 1, we're going to have office hours on Friday. And the idea is we're going to walk you through creating long form content like blogs and emails and white papers, things like that. We're going to walk you through that part, then taking those and repurposing them, and how to create the graphics and how to put them into a scheduler and how to look at your analytics and how to make sure you're engaging your audience and how to encourage engagement, all of that. It is I keep saying, if you are lazy, this is not the course for you. If you are a badass entrepreneur who wants to learn a lot, this is the course for you. You're going to want to take this course. It is very, very good. It's $9.99. So
we don't have many spots left. So.
Right, exactly. We're not going to take a whole lot because people said, how are you going to record it? I'm not going to record it. It's going to be live. The reason is that when I do these classes, I do classes sort of like this sometimes for the Better Business Bureau, much smaller, but I do the classes for them. And when I do it, I generally, what becomes the thing that people like is that I let you ask questions during the middle of it about your business. How does this apply to your business? And so I don't think it's fair for people to be able to be put on the spot telling this about their business and then putting it out there for the public. I don't want to do that. I don't like the idea at all. No. And I think it benefits you to be in the room getting those answers. So if you're interested, go to ASMMdigital.com and then you'll see digital marketing course and go ahead and sign up there. Do it quickly. It starts September 12th and it's going to be a great class. And this intro has been so long, so I'm so sorry. We will not do that again next week, but there was so much to catch up on. So we're going to talk about marketing during the down economy.
Yes.
So, and it is definitely a down economy. We're seeing it from everybody. We're hearing from everybody about how hard it's been.
Yeah. And clients that I wasn't expecting to hear it from too.
Yeah.
I think that it's everywhere. It is truly amazing how.
Well, I think
everybody's scared.
I was thinking about it. I mean, it's what you're looking at. I mean, maybe this would be bad anyway because the inflation is so bad, right? But I think a lot of people who survived COVID and might have survived this, it's having them back to back. It's having COVID and all those years, 2 years of just pure crap for a lot of businesses. Yeah. And then you throw the economy, the inflation at it right now, and it's scaring people. But I want to encourage you to not get scared. First of all, to realize that if you're an entrepreneur, you have, gosh, this is going to get an explicit rating. I'm sorry, but you got more balls than the next guy. If you're an entrepreneur, you really do. You got more balls. You can handle this. And I know you do. And I'm going to have to clean up my language at some point, but not today. Today's not the day. So I want to talk to you about why you want to keep marketing. And I want to give you some advice on how to do that. So first of all, by marketing, you can remind people of your value. And we've said before, what's my favorite thing to say to people?
Everybody's forgettable.
We're all forgettable.
All of us.
So don't stop marketing, because the truth is people will forget you. It's very easy for them to do that. So don't stop marketing because you're forgetful. You're forgettable.
Well, you're forgettable, especially when your competitor hasn't stopped marketing.
Exactly.
We talked about this. A client of ours called when COVID hit. I'm going to pause, and then a week later, he said, no, restart everything, because his competitors were
well, and that's actually one of the things we're going to talk about. So the first reason is to remind people of your value. You want to make sure they know what you do and why you do it. This is a really important time to use your marketing to talk about pain points. What is causing pain for your customers? We just had a great meeting on Friday with a hormone replacement therapy company, and he's like, I don't think marketing is really good for me. And I was like, oh, sweetie, let's talk about this, because we've talked about it on the show. You guys have watched me literally on air have hot flashes. Mm-hmm. And I told them, I'm like, these are all the things that bother me because of menopause. And I didn't know until I met Jennifer Larson. Mm-hmm. I did not know that you could fix this. Mm-hmm. I didn't know. I thought I had to live with a lot of what I was going through. And, so if you can show your value, if you can talk about those pain points, what are you going to do to make my hot flashes stop, right?
Well, and it's figuring out what the pain point for your customer or client is, and then showing them how you're fixing that.
Right.
So we at ASMM offer people time. It's not because what we do is impossible for anybody else to do.
That's why we're having class.
It is impossible for us to do surgery on ourselves. So a doctor has that value on their own because they've gotten the education, or a lawyer, like people that are professionals on that regard. Granted, there is a lot of marketing experience that we have that the average person doesn't have. takes it to a different level. But a lot of what we do, and we're doing this class to teach people how to do it,
Right.
so that way they can go and do it on their own. But we give people time back.
That's the biggest
So
thing,
that
right?
the entrepreneur doesn't have to spend their weekend doing their marketing, and they can go and live their life. That is our pain point. So when you're thinking about your business, think about your client or your customer and your product. When we say pain points, we've said this a million times. It is not your pain point as an entrepreneur. It is your customer's
that was my favorite.
pain point. Yes.
I did a class, and I won't even talk about what class it was, but I did a class, and the person on the other end was talking about pain points, and they asked somebody in the audience, and he says, "Well, it's what's in my wallet. My pain point is my wallet. I want more customers, so I get more business and more money." And I was like, "That's not your pain point, buddy." But
yeah. So what are you fixing? So that's how you remind people.
Exactly.
What is their pain point? How are you addressing that pain point?
Exactly. So remind them of your value and tell them why it's important that they come to you. What makes you different? And actually, that's really important. One of the things that we talk about a lot is branding. You have to understand your brand. You have to understand your brand. If you don't understand your brand, you are not going to be able to tell them why they should come to you. And most people don't really get their brand. They really don't. So, all right, this is exactly what Anastassia was talking about.
Sorry, I didn't read this.
Yeah. Your most successful competitor is not cutting their marketing. And that's actually exactly what I was going to talk about, was that a lot of people during COVID started to cut and then realized, oh my God, if I cut and they don't cut, they're going to get the business and I'm not.
Yeah.
Right. And
our clients were brilliant.
Yes.
Because it only happened one client for a week.
And then he came right back. Exactly.
And came right back. And it was amazing to me because, I graduated from college with my marketing degree and moved to the States after the dot-coms had crashed, and nobody was hiring. And the place they weren't hiring the most was marketing, because they're like, that's the first place they're going to cut out of the budget. But that's the place you shouldn't be cutting, because how are you going to grow your business without marketing your business?
Right. Or how are you going to even if you think I'm not going to grow, I'm not going to be able to grow. Well, how are you going to stay open? Honestly, how are you going to stay open? Because there's always attrition. People will leave. You've got to keep replacing the customers who do leave, right? Because it does, just talking to, not to get political, but I was talking about how people acted like Ronald Reagan was so stupid. They acted like he was an idiot, but his trickle down economics was not stupid. It was, the idea is, what happens to one person is going to go through. So you have to be on top of it as a business owner to keep your business going, because people are going to leave. They just will. But if you want more to come behind them, you've got to keep marketing. Yeah. Because you are forgettable, right? Go right back to it. You are forgettable. All right. Show them your stability. This is a power move, right? Show people that I'm not affected. My business is going great, right? Show them that you're not affected. Show them that you're still going strong. Show them that your business is still doing well. And one of the ways you can do this is by featuring some of your customers, right? Feature some of your customers. Show what they're doing. Show what you're building for them, especially if you're a business to business. Think about that. We got a sign coming, hopefully soon. Yes. So hopefully soon.
I have a draft to edit.
And if our sign company is smart, because he's not a client, but if he's smart, he'll take pictures and he'll put it on his social media, and he'll highlight the fact that, hey, this business is going and thriving, right? And by the way, they're thriving, and so am I, because I just put up their sign, right? So think about things like that. What can you do to show people how well you are still doing? Because success begets success, right?
Definitely.
And so, also market smarter. Think about what you're doing. Market in a way that makes sense for you. So these things we're telling you, like that. Feature your customers. Well, one of the reasons you want to feature your customers, what's the biggest?
We're always talking about being more human, right? And when you show your customers, you're being more human. You're being relatable. You're the person looking at your post may be the same person, not exactly the same person with the same name, the same address, but maybe it's I am a 42-year-old mother of 3 children, and you put me on there, and there's another woman in her, late 30s, early 40s with 3 kids, and it's like, oh, that's me.
Right.
And it's a subconscious thing. It's like, oh, if this is good enough for her, maybe it's good enough for me. So I think that there's, that's
Exactly. And then from a digital marketing standpoint, you're tagging, especially with your B2B clients, you're tagging their business, which means their customers are also going to see you.
Yeah.
Right.
Or if there's an influencer, or if the person that comes to your store or whatever, you can see that if you know them and they have quite the following, they could be an influencer, a micro-influencer.
I'll tell you, a lot of times I'll go into a store, and if they tell me they're struggling, I say, well, let's do something together, because my Twitter following is pretty darn big. I'm like, take advantage of it. I don't care. Take advantage of it. I'd love to help you out. Right. So tag me. I do care if you tag me and you have nothing to do with my business. And especially if you tag me on things that are things I disagree with. I've had people tag me on supplements and things that I'm like, amazing. Oh, no. I've had them tag me on a jewel that I'm like, dude, no. Don't do that. All right. Market for impression. So one of the things we hear a lot is that people are these days so worried. They're like, I'm not getting more likes. I'm not getting more likes or comments on my Instagram or my Facebook. I'm not getting the likes that I'd like. The thing is that things have changed. So
nobody's getting them.
Nobody's getting them because people have changed the way that they're doing social media. So you're not going to get as many likes as you used to. And that's okay, because what you need to do is start marketing for impressions. And one of the ways you can do that is to do more videos. Do more videos, specifically do more reels, do more TikToks, do more things where you are real. Put yourself in front of the camera. And I'm just going to say it, suck it up, buttercup. I know you don't like to be in front of the camera. I hate myself on camera. I hate it.
Yeah.
But I'm here. And I'm here because I know people want to know me. They want to know Anastassia. They want to know us. And one of the reasons, why do we do that? Let's go back to the top of the hour where we talk about ourselves and we talk about Luna. I'm going to just kind of going in circles today, man, because some of this does run back. Why do we do that?
It's so that we're human, so that people are like, oh, these ladies are crazy. Let's tune in and see what they have to say.
Exactly.
And it's funny. My friend, I was at the pool last week with my kids, and my friend was like, she's a teacher, and she has no idea about any of this marketing stuff, but I hadn't seen her for quite some time. And she was like, I was watching your video the other day, and I realized that I had no idea what the heck you were talking about, but I just wanted to hear your voice. And I was like, oh. She's like, I missed you. And I was like, oh,
that's sweet.
I'm like, and that's what it is, right? My friend, that's how real this is. My friend thought that by watching our video, she was having a conversation with me.
Right.
So, I mean, this is exactly who we are.
Exactly.
A little less makeup, if I'm not filming that.
Well, I don't even know. I rode, you should have seen, I rode in Luna today, so I am covered in drool from front to back, man. It's disgusting because I rode with the top down, so it flies around. It's just gross.
At least it's not in front of you.
Exactly. All right. And finally, I want to talk about one of the last ways during this time that you can market smarter, and that's to educate your customers. Give them things. Don't be selfish. And when I say that, I really do mean it. So I'll have people come to me and they'll say, you know what I want to do? I want to have a blog, but I'm going to write it myself. And then they write it themselves. And what they talk about is how awesome they are. Nobody wants to hear how awesome you are. Yes, you can tell them in a subtle way, but the whole blog should not be about how awesome you are.
Yeah.
The blog should give them something. So if we can go back to the hormone therapy, right? If you did a blog, this is actually why the class works so well, because when you're taking the class, I'm going to give you ideas of things you could write.
That's true.
Right? So if you are a hormone therapist and you are looking for blog ideas, then you could do a blog all about the things that people don't realize are related to menopause. So we talked about it the other day. We talked about the fact that your spatial relations are wrong. So people who are going through menopause are sometimes klutzy. They run into doors, right? Run into the door jamb, or they're itchy, or they're whatever it is. So there could be, you just give those examples and explain what might cause that. Why is this? And why will hormone therapy help? So you're still leading them back to the idea that, hey, by the way, we do hormone therapy.
Yeah.
But you're explaining to them something that they're sitting there going, oh my God, that happens to me,
Mm-hmm.
right?
I think that's the case in everything, right? Like,
Yeah.
we do a lot of blogs. I like to read them. I like to know. It's amazing how much we know about chimneys.
Oh my
And
goodness.
plumbing and car mechanics and mortgages, like all kinds of things. And the reason is because we're, educated, because our purpose when we're writing content for our clients, real estate, is to educate their customers.
Exactly.
So we educate ourselves so that we can educate, so that what we're writing is educational, because people, we've talked about it. It's not take. It's give, and then maybe take.
Exactly.
Or ask, not take, ask.
Exactly.
So, I think that that's something that you need to, it's important to educate your customers, because then it builds that credibility. It builds yourself as a expert, and then people are more likely to trust you.
Absolutely. And we've talked about this before, but I'm going to say it again, that you being an expert in your field, you are an expert in your field.
Mm-hmm.
Most of us feel like we're an imposter of some sort. Most people do. But we're not. We own the business. We are doing the thing that we are best at. So show people that. Be the expert in your field. And I wanted to say, actually, a lot of people will call me and they're like, I don't think you could write a blog from what I do. One of the benefits of working with us, you said time, but that time is huge. But one of the other benefits is just that we have ideas, and ideas, to me, I feel like they come easy.
Yeah, especially to you.
But they don't come easily to everybody.
No.
And so, I'm going to give you another good idea. If you're a real estate agent, we have a real estate agent that is here in Annapolis, Jen Schaub. She's wonderful. And her blog is nothing about her. It's all about Annapolis. It's all about the best restaurants in Annapolis, the best ice cream places, the best schools, the best dentists. And that draws people to her website. And then she can enter, she can show them, she can put listings on there so that they can see what she's got available. So it's really not, it's not as hard as it seems. So if you think you can't, if you just want to call us and say, I have this crazy business and this is what I do, how would I educate my customers? We'll give you some ideas, because there are so many things that we have going on in our head all the time.
This is what we do all day long, right?
Right.
We're not, this isn't pivoting. We might be pivoting in terms of what we're creating and for what industry we're creating, but at the end of the day, this is what we do all day long.
Exactly.
And sometimes when we're dreaming.
Yeah, exactly.
I wake up in the morning with an idea, and I have a notepad next to my bed, because I'm like, oh, we could do this for this client. It doesn't matter. It never turns off, unfortunately.
Well, I was buying shoes at a shoe store in Bethesda yesterday. And by the way, I have literally walked by the shoe store probably 70 times in the past 2 years. Never saw it.
Oh,
I didn't even know it was there. It was right there.
No.
Their sign is horrible. Everything but it's like a hole in the wall shoe store. And I couldn't help myself. I had to give them advice while I was there.
It's impossible for you not to.
So I gave them advice. And
I do that too.
Yeah, because I can't help it.
Remember, I was driving through Philadelphia, and I saw a sign on the side of a building, and Athena was with me, and I was like, take a photo of that right now. And I sent it to Anne, because it was a law office, and the signage looked like a coffee shop.
And so, actually, did I send you the logo for Maman?
I don't think so.
Oh my gosh. So I've sent everybody I know this logo because I think it's the worst logo I've ever seen. And it's a great little French bistro.
Oh, okay.
It's lovely, but it's the worst logo I have ever seen. And it's a chain now. They have one in New York, they have one in Bethesda, they have one different places. Worst logo.
Maybe, you know what though? That could be the thing.
I don't think it is. It's supposed to say Maman. It looks like mountains.
Oh, you know what? You did send it to me.
It's really bad.
Yeah,
it's very bad.
It's like a signature of somebody that has a name starting with M.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's us going off on our tangent, because the truth is we think marketing all the time.
All the
And we
time.
do love it. I do want to remind you that over on the blog, there is a lot of information. We took a break from the podcast. We did not take a blog break. The blog gets a new blog up there every Monday. So if you've not visited in a while, you are going to want to go back, ASMMdigital.com/blog. Today, actually, the article that went up Monday was about diversity and why diversity is good for your business. And I also, on that note, I want to remind you, if you are a woman-owned business or a Black-owned business or any business along those lines, you should go on Google My Business and you should say that. You could use that as an attribute. Say that, hey, I am a Black-owned business, or I am a woman-owned business, or I'm a veteran-owned business. It does make a difference. The blog is really helpful. Go look at it. I think you'll like it. And I think that's it. Do you have anything else that we should tell these fine folks?
I don't know. We wish everybody a good school year. If you have school-age children, Labor Day is coming up. But yeah, catch up on the blog. The blog's great, and it's really fun. I forgot how much fun we have doing this.
Oh, I love this. So we will see you next week. And I don't know what we're talking about. Usually I do, but this time I do not know.
We're still getting, as you can tell, we're still getting back in the swing of things here.
Yeah. So all right. See you later.
Bye-bye.